Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're doing okay amidst the stormy skies and energies. I just wanted to pop on, although we're all very tired, I'm guided to just share a few things that I've been seeing unfolding. And yeah, the main theme is endings and new beginnings. So there's a lot of letting go of the old that's happening right now. Oh, sorry, one sec. Everybody hopefully can hear me okay, otherwise let me know if anything is wrong with the sound. So we're letting go of the old us, the old realities, the old world to welcome the new us, the new realities, the new world. Okay, so there's a lot of both happening, and it very much depends also on our focus of how much we see of the endings and beginnings, and obviously also down to how much work we have already done. So there's a lot for us all being processed and integrated right now. We're really transforming on the inside. So there is a lot of solar activity going on. Right now we have KP4, geomagnetic storms. Solar flares are kind of quiet, which is hilarious because it's basically a C-class baseline we are on for like 2 weeks now. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the event already in progress, but we are still building up towards a crescendo moment for sure, which I'm feeling. So it's both ends. And the solar activity and the geomagnetic storm, so there's a lot of plasma, and I've also seen today, although there was not that much visible in the field, just very heavy energies today I found. And yeah, there's just a lot releasing at a very deep level, at a cellular level, and the plasmas are really, especially today, was very thick and gooey for a while, and really just saw it all around the planet, all around our energy fields, and it's really re-encrypting matter, elemental matter. It's helping with the re-encryptions within the DNA. So it's going very, very deep. So we're really letting go of our old way of being, our old self, and that's happening at mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual level. But we need to make space for the new to come in. So right now the theme is let go. Let it go, let it burn, all that doesn't serve you anymore, all that's no longer aligned with your true self, because that's really what it's all about, to align with your true, authentic self, which is your multidimensional crystal avatar self, which is you aligned with God consciousness and embodied, and that unlocks everything. That's why that's the focus. It's the inner work, and it's sorting out the programming that the old realities and the old us is based upon. And the programming are the belief systems we have running. And these are based on thought forms. And that's why we say thoughts create matter, or they create things, and words are spells. So we use them very consciously because everything creates, everything builds up. And this is the ultimate lesson right now. We are stepping back into our co-creatorship as super conscious co-creators in alignment with divine will, knowing our true power, and that's every word, every thought, every behavior, every feeling, every belief we hold, every action we take. All of this is this. There's not one thing that's not this. Okay, we don't compartmentalize into this is spirituality and this is 3D. No. Money is also spiritual or not spiritual. This is not really for me about spirituality. This is about consciousness, about becoming super conscious and very mindful and aligned again, of course, knowing ourselves as God, because then we become aligned with those virtues and ethics and morals that, should be common sense, but sadly they have been programmed out of us. So also connected to our DNA. And as this all aligns, and as we align with what we actually believe in, because that's alignment, it's being in integrity with, your word, what you believe in, your actions, it's all in alignment. Yeah, that really unlocks your multidimensional self, your DNA, your gifts and abilities. So everything is this. This is the mission. Your life is the mission. It's not doing necessarily what I'm doing, being a healer. That may as well be so, but it's not necessary. So it doesn't matter what you do. It's more like, how are you doing it? And who are you being whilst you're doing whatever you're doing? Because you can be a very crisis being sweeping the streets. So this is very much now a time of, when we want to see the truth and the veils dissolve, this is first of all happening from within, always. Everything else is a reflection of what's happening within us, and obviously this is a very collective transformation. So we need to be very super conscious with everything that's happening in our lives right now, and cut out what is not in alignment and what we do not want in our lives, and say yes to what we do want in our lives. Okay, it's both. We don't ignore anything, we don't spiritual bypass, but we also don't look for conflict and trouble and drama, and we don't co-create that anymore. We don't play those games, we don't play in victim-victimizer consciousness anymore. All that shit needs to go, because all the leaks need to stop. All the energetic leaks have to stop if you want to become a fully sovereign, God-conscious being. So everything is this. And if you think of entities on an energetic level, on a personal level, these are people in your life which might be sucking your energy, little kind of vampires, energy vampires. They might not even know what they're doing. It's unconsciousness. Unconsciousness acting through other people. But it's your unconsciousness which allows that to run in your life. So we need to set very clear boundaries and have very strong discernment, because these are the key lessons to having a sovereign energetic field on all levels. And that includes any relationship you have with anyone and everything really in your life. So everything again is this. So right now, it's karmic relationships, all of these ending, all these karmic contracts, it's all going. It's going. If you want to hold on to it, it creates suffering. That's really all that happens, but it's going. So anything that's not in alignment with us becomes very loud right now, and will come naturally up to be seen, to be transcended, to be healed, integrated, and every trigger is a gift, really is. And I'll come back to that later. Now, because when you turn that around and reverse it all, it becomes more like a game, and because things will keep going as long as they still trigger you. And again, it's anything in your reality. So any resistance, any judgment, any trigger is showing you where you can integrate another aspect of you, because it will keep coming around until you see it's something within you that you still haven't fully integrated, of the one consciousness with God source, which we're all merging with, which is unity consciousness, knowing ourselves as God. And that means integrating all aspects of God. Okay? You don't need to identify with them, you just need to see they're all parts of you. And then we purify them through us. But we can't do this when we reject and get triggered and so forth, and it will keep coming around until we have integrated the lessons. That's what it's really all about. And now we're going really, really deep to the core themes for the final removal at the root. Because we're cleaning the garden of all the weeds and all the parasites and all the vampires, and it has to be done properly. And I mean, this is never done in the sense of we will always need to have discernment and boundaries, and can never let this happen again. That's why we need to get the lessons. So we can't do these energetic feeding frenzy type scenarios anymore, because it doesn't serve anyone. And when we stop it, they can't play these games anymore. And this happens at all levels. And when we stop this in our own lives, it also happens then reflected at collective level, which I think we can see now, all of our hard work rolling out to the masses, because this is all a reflection. That's why it's always about us, not about them. Where are we still giving our power away? Where are we not being our true self, or not speaking our truth? Standing up for our rights and going along with the narratives. Where are we still caught up in groupthink? Or why do we believe what we believe? All of these things, everything needs to be questioned. So it would be stick very loosely to the beliefs and what you think is going to happen, and when it's going to happen, very loosely, relax, know it's ultimately done. This is done since the 29th. We are totally done. This is the highest timeline of Ascension. We are on the super fast track, and any moment in now time, this is fully done, but we can already see the huge effects it's now having, as we are seeing the transformation within ourselves as we're ready to rise as the phoenix, to rebirth ourselves as our true self, our aligned self with God Source Consciousness, which is our true self, not that programmed false fake self, which had all the programmed masks on. Okay, when we are full in alignment with that truth of who you believe, you want to be, that's everything unlocked, everything done. It's so close. Because it's about, we as starseeds just have certain ascension codes and keys, and as enough of us do this and come into full alignment with our crystal avatar self, we all ascend. Now, we're not all ascending to New Earth, but it's a big sorting out. And ultimately, I would not be afraid of, for example, friends and family. What I'm seeing is we will get to see people that have passed on, because ultimately death is an illusion. So as we transcend the illusion of that separation, there is no more separation. Even if someone would maybe be in a different planet, let's say, you would still have contact, if that makes sense. Okay? And it's the same if somebody dies, the consciousness doesn't die. And yes, some of the beings that have done a lot of damage to their templates, they will go back to source as Stardust return. But ultimately, everyone else will be fine, so to say, ultimately, but everybody still has to do their own work as well. It's both ends. But yes, we as Starseeds have done a lot of work to change the programming within the consciousness, because that's what's shifting ultimately. It's the consciousness moving from distorted polarity consciousness to unity consciousness, which is the new grid system. And we have to embody that unity grid, which is the 0-point field, which is the Holy Trinity, which is the masculine, the feminine, in balance, rebirthing themselves as the Holy Child. That's how I see it, and it's all interchangeable. And it's also the Holy Grail, because it's eternal life. And it's a 0-point field, which is the polarities no longer in conflict with one another, but balanced through the third energy of divine love and neutrality. And God is love. Doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion or a viewpoint, but you don't fight over it. And you don't block people because they don't agree with you. Just when they suck your energy and try to trigger you, then you have to block them, okay? I'm telling you, this is the time. Now, very powerful diamond, platinum, white, plasma infusions, balancing, transmuting and upgrading. So the Triwave also for me is all of this simultaneously. That's why we're feeling a lot of this. First of all, there's a lot of geomagnetic turbulences, okay, and obviously the geomagnetic storms and solar weather bring a lot of, imbalances to the field. So it's not about being, zero pointing is not being non-emotional, not feeling nothing and not having any ups and downs. No, you hold a 0 point amidst the intensity. You don't have a conflict with what's going on. You don't have a conflict when you go through really deep healings or clearings. And you don't have a conflict with being in a really high ascended state. You don't go off euphoric either. But you don't descend into despair. You hold the balance within the extremes, within the storm. We are the eye of the storm, the 0 point field. And as we do this also, we can collapse all of these collective timelines trying to play out. But they're literally collapsing. I mean, I think we can see this. Anything that's trying to play out is backfiring in spectacular fashion in order to resolve it all and bring everything to light. So I can't see anything going anywhere bad. Really, it's just not. Any kind of red flag would just be in order to reveal more. So it's done. And we're still making it happen as we go along in every now moment, from now moment to now moment. Because it's also quantum, and everything is being co-created in the now moment. So what's going to happen when it's in constant flux? And how it might look like might be different than we think. So being really in the, kind of expectant child, it's Christmas, it's going to be good, but you don't know exactly what it is. That's the vibe we're going for. Okay, I actually drew a couple of little cards from the little deck I have. It's called the Blissful Knowing. I don't know if you can see this. Anyway, Blissful Knowing. It's quite cute. It just has different messages literally just on the back and different color codings. Anyway, the two cards that came up just before I came on, and I don't often do this, was everything is coming together and trust the timing. And that's exactly the vibe right now. You know, it's already done. The general energy is relaxation, but you're still obviously on guard, as in we always are, not on expecting an attack, but there's a lot of stuff happening depending what your role is right now. You need to be aware, yeah? There's obviously still battles happening. So, but it's mainly one within our own consciousness, all right? Because when we fight anything resisted, we keep feeding it, so that's not a solution. But ultimately, it's really knowing all this hard work is coming to fruition now. We're just seeing the endings. We now need to just let go of the past. Yeah, so uncomfortable situations and stresses and squeezes might happen right now. I know of people, several people, who have basically not a stable or very low income, and they're being asked to move out of the house by the end of the month. And, you know, happening, I don't know that many people I speak to, so it's quite interesting that pops up with 3 people. Anyway, so it's definitely a big theme. First of all, the root chakra themes of survival, which we've been, you know, purging and transcending and like mad over the last 2 years of survival, you know, roof over your head, food, bills to pay, you know, money, all of that, and survival literally. So this is coming up for people in order to be fully transcended, because you have to transcend that survival fear in order to ascend. And again, we're doing this on behalf of the collective. And I've been through this, okay, where I don't know where to sleep the next day and something always turns up, but you need to be in alignment, you need to trust yourself, you need to believe in yourself, you need to listen to the guidance. It doesn't mean you just sit there and imagine amazing things to happen. You also make them happen by listening to the guidance of what comes in as action steps for you to take. But when you are aligned and you trust and you believe in miracles, they will turn up. And you also need to say no to things that are not in alignment. Even if you're desperate, these are tests in integrity. So even if you think you might not be able to survive if you don't take that crooked man's offer, or your ex, who you know is just going to manipulate you by you know, him doing you a favor, don't do it. Even if it means you would be on the streets. That would be my advice. I'm not saying, you know, again, every situation is different. Everybody please listen to your own guidance above all else, okay? Like, everything is very unique, ultimately. But generally speaking, I hope you get what I mean. These are tests, like the tests of the devil sort of thing, all right? They test your integrity. Don't go below, like, you need to know your worth. If not now, like, it's now more important than ever, because that's directly connected to our abundance. And we have a lot of problems, light workers, with self-confidence and belief in ourselves for very good reasons. It's been beaten out of us, okay? So it takes a lot of strength to call it all back into ourselves, but we've been collecting an accretion, you know, our quanta again, calling all of ourselves back again, doing all the healing work, okay? And it's going to really take off now, quantum style. But we have to let go of that doesn't serve us anymore, and say no to what is not in alignment with our true self, where we would compromise ourselves for money, for safety. Very important. Because I promise you, if you do, and it might not be in the next moment or the next day, but in divine timing, if you believe and trust and you stay in alignment, something much better will come along. But you need to trust, and you need to know your worth. You really need to right now. So important. And we all have, you know, troubles with that. The same as believing in our gifts and abilities. That is our abundance. Because none of this material stuff will mean anything really if you don't have health. You know, for example, the healers and all, you know, us many wonderful people, all the gifts we have. This is the real wealth in the new earth. So focus on that. Believe. Change the programming also, that you believe, because that's what we're here for. That's what I worked for many years. Might not always look like the way you want it to, but basically to believe that we can survive and make a living by doing what we love, by being in bliss. This is what we're anchoring right now. The divine child comes out to play and wants to create. I've started painting. I don't really want to do much. I wanted to rather relax this evening, quite frankly. I've worked so much and so hard. I need a freaking holiday. I know we all do. Okay. But I mean, guidance is guidance, and you come on and you do the job. You know, it's still all of these things, because we're still making it happen. We're still guiding the ship safely home to the bay. But we know it's on autopilot, and that's where it's going to go, kind of thing. But there might still be a little few rocks. But we need to just be very conscious of our co-creational abilities, of what timelines we feed. We are writing the script now. We are in charge. We've always been, it's just that we've forgotten and we were used to create for a very sick mind kind of consciousness, you know? Or it's our lower consciousness, unconscious, who's been creating unconsciously very distorted realities. S1. And this is not about fault. Okay, we need to transcend all of this ultimately, whilst we also take those who've done wrong responsible and accountable. But we have to ultimately just totally let all of that go. If you learned your lessons, you know, it's like those without sin cast the first stone. Where do you want to start and stop? When do you lose your innocence? You know, even all those terrible people, they've once been babies and they've been born into terrible circumstances and families, I can tell you. So you either end up sick or dead. You know, very few people survive this. So anyway, where was I? All about the inner work right now. All right, I'm going to be jumping a bit back and forth. Yeah, so I mean, energy is super intense. Self-care, try to support the clearing. pH high water to support the crystallization process, also because your body becomes acidic as we are changing from carbon to crystalline. Huge crystalline activations happening, huge DNA clearings. To make, you know, for the multidimensional corrected codes to come fully online. And this is going to be huge now over the next 10 days. All right, so get ready for some big ass miracles. All right, but it's a mix right now. It's still a mix. So things like MSM helps for the cells as well, and with muscle aches. Do hot salt baths. Things like get a massage is really good as well, because a lot is in your fascia, and doing body work really helps to release that. You know, nature, earthing, any of those things. Extra vitamins, minerals, also as your blood is balancing, you know, it just creates, first of all, imbalances within the body, but it's like a purging. All of this is really, whenever you heal, it's already your body healing itself ultimately. Okay, but we are also here to support it. And I know there were things like chest pains or maybe around the heart. I know when I had my first really big heart activation opening, I felt like 2 days almost like having a heart attack, but I knew it wasn't a heart attack. But it was super extra uncomfortable, like having a heart attack in slow motion. it's like a description of the Ascension process. I'm just joking. But yes, we need to have a lot of humor to make it through. These are the last steps, and I know we're crawling a little bit some days, but you know, just flow with it, with the ups, with the downs. It's like as if you go down a river and you just literally let the water just flow down the river. Okay, it's total flow state. Everything will be revealed to you in the now moment, because it's quantum, and that also has advantages. Because if you don't know what you're going to do, they don't know what you're going to do. Also, we're breaking through the programming, because only the programmed mind is susceptible to games being played, because they know how you're going to react. So if you're easily triggerable, which I used to be very much and still sometimes have issues with, you're like an open fest for them, okay? And just poke, and that's been going on a lot right now. Attacks through other people, massive lately, okay? Betrayal, people close to you, all these stories are coming up to be resolved. Also know this is from other timelines, okay? So don't take it personal, because it's not personal, well, it's also personal, which is funny because it helped it for me to release. So just to stay with this for a moment. So for example, if you have, like many of us, a problem of being attacked energetically by the people around us, you know, being ridiculed, being the scapegoat, all of the stuff, okay? I think we know these stories. It's like, ultimately, no, it's not personal, because they're just projecting their shit onto you, okay? But then we also need to say, okay, we've allowed this for long enough. We cannot allow people to project onto us anymore. Not allowed, okay? We cannot, that's part of the boundaries. But then we also know that it's a program within us running that actually is creating this, so it is personal, okay, that we need to unplug. Because if it's not that person and you make a boundary, it's still, if the program is running, another person will come along and will do the same thing until you really took out that program at the root. And I know we have themes we thought we've done with, and we're not still, but it's just the final resolution where you're like, no more, because we really had enough. I think we all had enough by now, yeah? Like I have several days, and today again was a day where it's like, okay, just no tolerance for bullshit whatsoever. Can come across sometimes a bit harsh, but it is what it is in the moment as well. Everything is fine. You should not tell yourself that you shouldn't feel anything. Your feelings are your guidance system. They're your navigational system. They tell you when something is off. Don't have your mind override you by saying, you shouldn't feel angry, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. You just don't stay with the anger because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't help you or anyone else. It just makes you ill, literally. But the anger is showing you where you're compromising yourself, you've given your power away, where someone is overstepping the boundaries, and so forth. So you take the anger and say, oh, okay, hello, anger. What are you trying to tell me today? You have a cup of tea with the anger, okay? This is all about super conscious communication with yourself. Full mindfulness, super conscious at all times, as much as possible. We don't go unconscious anymore. And you have a conversation with your anger and you ask what's beneath it. Because only then can we really resolve it. To see, okay, that's why I'm angry, and this is what I need to change. If you don't go then, if you tell yourself that you shouldn't be angry, you can't go there, you can't resolve, and it keeps happening. And you just be in conflict with yourself, where your heart is telling you should be angry, and your head is telling you, no, you shouldn't be angry, because some spiritual programming is telling you shouldn't be angry, for example. No. Okay, your feelings are telling you what's up. You just need to go beyond the feeling and see what's there. Because it's all literally fear-based. All the negative emotions come back to some kind of fear. So there's more beyond the anger. It's not just anger. Okay, and you have a right to feel whatever you're feeling. You need to feel it. It needs to come up and out to purge, to leave your cells, to leave your bodies, your matrix. It has to purge. And the fear matrix needs to purge through us. So let it flow. Don't descend into despair. Be the observer, as well as reparenting yourself. And that means sometimes you are, you shouldn't be doing this again. The next time you're, oh, come here, my child, give me a big hug. You really had a tough day, and these really been assholes. Kind of thing, all right. And another time it's like your masculine stepping forward and also putting a line somewhere where it's needed and protecting you. Okay? So all these divine aspects come in, and you are all of them. You are your own divine mother, masculine, feminine, and divine child now that's birthing. Because we're rebirthing our true self, finally. Just wow. But I know it's intense. It's all of these things simultaneously, and then, we keep going from one state to the other. But just be the observer of it, because the less you can resist any state, the quicker it goes. So especially when you feel suffering or so, the suffering is really your resistance to what you're feeling. You can be in pain and not suffer. I got very good at that. So, and you just need to see it as kind of another walk, visit to the toilet sort of thing. Yeah, another layer shed. And see it as, good, I'm releasing it. Don't see it as, there's just, there's more. It's not that it's getting more, it's just a deeper release. If it's there, quite frankly. Otherwise it wouldn't be coming up. So be thankful for it. And I know it's been tough, okay, but there's also so much good stuff coming right now. Yeah, no bullshit is coming up strongly. I know. We are really reclaiming our power. But it comes from love, but sometimes it's also like, a lion's roar, but you don't need to bite anyone's head off. It doesn't need to be barbed wires, because we're trying to get it all into balance, and that's the whole thing. Okay? And it's also when we think even of fallen angelics and the angelics, okay, we're literally merging shadow and light. And it's the same as service to self, service to others. It's not just one or the other, it's literally service to all. You also need to sometimes put yourself first. Sometimes you need to, detach from things. You know what I mean? We're not here to fix people. It's all about finding the balance. And yes, of course, it's service to others mostly, but we cannot forget ourselves. It's all about the balance. Okay, so we also sometimes need to have narcissistic tendencies, which would not be, all these extremes and polarities are being neutralized now. So you won't have the codependent and a narcissist anymore, because that's the ultimate victim-victimizer blueprint that runs around here and that we have playing out all the time in relationships of all kinds. And that totally collapses in interdependency. But we first have to be sovereign, then also drop into the oneness to come to the integrity, to the interdependency, okay, where we all are interconnected and interdependent on one another. We all influence one another. Even the person at the end of the world influences me, or I'm influencing. You know, we all influence the whole world. The more we know that power, the more powerful you will become. So, you know, that's what we do in these mass meditations and activations. We send it out to all, and they're so powerful and becoming ever more powerful. So, yeah, a lot of no bullshit boundaries, cut all those energetic leaks. It's super, super important, because we need to weed the garden, we need to throw them out, okay? You can still send them love and consciousness, but you need to remove the people that are at the moment acting out and trying to get to you. Because, you know, for example, if you have a very strong sovereign field, that might be the only way how they can get to you, is through someone else to you, by attacking you. And I had this happen twice. I had to block 2 people within 36 hours last week. And that was just, okay, I got the lesson now. Took that program out, which is, to come back to, so the program running is ultimately, we know, we've been persecuted and we've been attacked. So it's, you know, it's not as if we're making this up. All right, but we have to transcend the program. We have to understand, first of all, it's not personal, but it's also personal because it's a program running within us, and also because of who we are and the mission we are serving. So we can take pride from it. The more interference and difficulties we had, the more important our mission, quite frankly. But we also see it's not personal, because it's really just the unconsciousness fighting for its life and survival. Okay, so it's not like, oh, why is it happening to me, which is weakening your field. Okay, and we all have these moments. And we need to drop off that victim energy and then say, okay, I get it now. I get it now. And if you don't have that victim energy anymore running in your field and fear of attacks, that's when I stop. Because it's a program running and it's a frequency that attracts that, ultimately. And that's where we're at now. Because we need to cut all these energetic leaks, heal our auric field, no more portals wide open, no more feeding frenzies. This is all about also interconnected with the pole shift and having a perpetual energetic flow again with source, not feeding into shadow matrix, you know, fallen systems that have been collecting our loosh. But ultimately that's a reflection of us feeding parasites and feeding our negative emotions and throwing it at the walls and not alchemizing it. So we have to learn to be super mature and grown up about, you know, mental, emotional reactions and how we carry ourselves. Because if we don't, if we continue, you know, like being triggered right, left and center and, you know, getting super emotional or, you know, letting other people anger us, you know, gaslight us, no, just know it for what it is. It's like when you see a sign, I know you, seen you before, no, door closed, see you later. Don't even go into it. And like, that's where I'm at. Because I was going along with it for a while because it was someone I knew and I was thinking, okay, he's just, you know, purging some deep shit here, but it just kept going. And then it's like, no, you just can't talk sense. And you're not here to save and rescue and heal people that are not really ready for it, or definitely not at your expense. Attack is abuse, okay? And you cannot let people do this. You will then say, on some level, you're saying you're not worth more, that that's what you're worth. For whatever reason you're doing it, because we understand why they are the way they are. We can still not allow it, because then we're enabling them. By us not enabling it anymore, you then also teach them the lesson that that's not how they can interact with you anymore, at least. They might try it with someone else, but all these games are stopping now, because we stop playing them. Because otherwise they keep coming around, and it's getting very loud right now, doesn't it? So it's all very self-explanatory. You know, you don't need to ask even, where's my mission? It's right there in front of you. It's your life. Sort out all that doesn't serve you anymore from your old life. Let it go. That's that mission done. And now much better things are coming online. But this also can't be rushed, because a lot of this is still trickling in. So don't push it. Okay, the data is still assembling. Make room, okay, and not note down, start some new projects, but don't, think you need to get it done by the end of the week or the end of the month or whatever. This is timeless, ultimately. Again, this is the flow. Act from inspiration, not from fear, especially when it comes to all these survival things being triggered right now, okay? If you're in a situation where you might be afraid to lose your job or not have a home or any of this stuff, just know whenever you transcend a major fear like this and trust that God has your back, that, things will come up for you if you believe, quite truly, and also obviously act on inspiration. But don't act off fear and don't just take a bad deal, okay? Because that might be and is probably a test. I've had them come up. And then what you really wanted will come up soon after. But you need to say no to what's no longer, reflecting your value in life. And that is if people treat you badly, okay? Never mind the reasons for it. You just need to say no to the universe that you do not want this in your life right now anymore, or never again. All right? So, yeah. Just having a quick look here. Yeah, this is the Christ returned. I mean, the last 2 weeks, it's amazing. We are, it's literally celebration time. This is where the party starts. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this density to live, to, now with ease and grace, just create. Yesterday, we had huge, beautiful, very high frequencies coming in. And the thing is with these high frequencies and purifications, obviously, it is both, It can be very accelerating, expanding, and it can also bring up a lot of clearing. So, people can feel both. If you get triggered, if somebody makes a post and everything is great, just know they also had maybe a bad day yesterday or will have one tomorrow, all right? And we're all keeping the balance somehow. We can't all have a meltdown all on the same day, is what I always say. So, we're keeping the balance here, and these energies work through in waves as well. So, yeah, and there's a lot of plasmas, and what is also coming up is a lot of clearing of the hybrid and reverse codings. All right, the reversals in our DNA. And they are actually also representations, I'm shown, of the reversals within the consciousness, which totally makes sense, because basically our DNA is encoded with our consciousness. That's why when the 12-strand DNA fully comes online, that's the Christ consciousness fully embodied. But it's both, we need to work with it consciously as well as through DNA activations, and the sun is helping and everything else. So basically we are healing the reversals within the consciousness, which are false perceptions, which are, how everything is upside down here. For example, people give all this importance to material wealth, but very little to spiritual wealth. And where we are going, material wealth will mean literally nothing much. And it's all about spiritual wealth, because that's actually how you manifest the other wealth. But yeah, we're all remembering this, and all these reversals within the consciousness are now healing themselves. Okay, and it's literally like a shift in consciousness. Again, this is connected to the pole shift, this is connected to the crystalline core, this is connected to the crystalline activations which are happening within us, and also the planet, because they hold the true history and memory records for us, and as they activate, our true memories come online. Because this here has been like an inserted false reality, with inverted, reversed data, so to say, which we're clearing and lifting, and then the real data, memories, history can come online, our true origins, yeah, and history, and this then also reflects a new reality, because again, programs, which are belief systems, which are thought forms, which is basically data, it's information, okay, when that shifts, the reality shifts. That's why it's all based, think of the Matrix movie, it's all based on programs, which are belief systems. That's why I work with the program belief systems so much, because that's where you really shift things. And there is a lot of repetition. Yes, I do repeat certain things a lot. There is a lot of purpose to how I write, and the way I write, it's really automatic writing at this stage for the last year or so. And it has a deep purpose. And I do it very consciously, such as when we say I am, we all know the power of that, whatever we say after that. The same as is with it is done, it's manifesting. I know I manifest with everything I speak and say. I know these are spells. And I don't really care to be right ultimately. I care to be happy. I know I need to reprogram my reality to the way I want it, not the way it is right now. But I'm also not making things up when I share them. But it's like, sometimes when we wait for something big or something specific to happen on one day, it might roll out in a very different way. Such as I said, with the event as I see it, might be big flare or it might be loads of smaller ones. Well, now we had 2 weeks of literally non-stop C-class solar flares plus geomagnetic storms. The magnetosphere is pretty weak, which is distorted, as I said. It's artificially manipulated and keeps us in a lower density. And we have a plasma buffer shield that was originally there, which is being erected and is taking over fully. So don't worry about the magnetosphere is all I want to transmit there. From my perspective, again, take what resonates, leave the rest, always. So, and this is also connected obviously to our electromagnetic field, and that's why it's a little bit like this. And this is also our whole personality imprint is shifting. All right? And I mean, just imagine the other people, because we know we are more conscious of what's happening and we've been further along the line. But, this affects everyone, the whole collective. So the way people have been is not how they're going to be tomorrow or next week or next month or whenever. And don't be too linear about this either, because what I'm seeing is miracle instant healings. I mean, it's already happening kind of in slow motion. But again, it's all accelerating into one now moment. For me, time is already gone, really. So really since on the 5th and the 6th last weekend, I really felt, it was massive purification, white flame, and really this was for me the final breakthrough at the energetic level. And from Monday, really from the 7th, really it's new earth realities. It really is, it's already there. We can see it already trickling through, but as I say, it's like the old is lifting simultaneously. But the new timeline is fully there. It's fully active, it's fully running. It's just you have to still weed out some bits and pieces, and obviously still certain things we cannot see yet as such, okay? But energetically, the new grids, everything, we are, way over the threshold, which we can also see what's happening in Canada and what's happening in England, and everywhere they're dropping, the restrictions. And I know there's still a lot of other stories that are going on out there, but you need to be very mindful of that. You can collapse and co-create timelines and realities now from the neutral observer point, from the 0 point state. So what that means is, if you, for example, see timeline war, okay, work with it. If you get triggered, if the triggers any fear or so with you, basically, as I said before, how I collapse timelines is I go into the timeline in a meditative state. I basically live it. I feel everything I need to feel, because it's the fear that needs to purge ultimately, okay? So you don't need to experience that timeline, because that's what the fear is trying to, create there, what's there. It's an energy in your field. So you need to purge the fear by literally going into the timeline, living it, feeling it, until the fear is gone, until you transcended it, until you feel in your body, okay, I suddenly this now, I purged it, or worst case scenario, okay, I'm fine. That kind of thing. Like I had to be okay with being on the streets or not having money and all of these things, and you just become okay with it. And then when you purge the fear, it doesn't have to happen anymore, because it's literally like a virtual reality running in your unconscious, okay? But it might manifest if you keep having the fear running and don't deal with it, okay? And we can do this personally and collectively with timelines. So you work with the timeline, you feel it, you purge it, you become okay with the worst case scenario, and then you kind of dissolve it, burn it up, however you want to imagine it, okay? Everybody does this differently. I just imagine it, see it kind of burning up, or you just say no, and I know I don't have to, I'm collapsing this timeline. And then you imagine what you want to see, which would be new earth realities, abundance coming online, total freedom. I'm waiting just to literally hear, the party is on any moment now. So, and I'm not waiting for the 22nd, I'm not waiting for the 13th, I'm not waiting for any date, by the way. This is available in no time, okay? So don't worry about how, and don't worry about when. Timeless. And when we manifest, we go to the end result, not of the how, because you might be disappointed if things in between work out differently. It's a big theme right now as well. So trust source, trust everything is aligning, okay? Everything is coming together, and trust the timing and alignment. Flow with it. Only act when you're really in alignment and when you feel it's inspiration, not out of fear. No more of the old programming, okay? No more taking little handouts and just scraps, okay? We're done with the crumbs. We want the cake now, all right? Know your worth, claim it, and now you can manifest it, because the big theme is releasing the remaining doubts and insecurities that we can't. Because we can. This is the time. The interference is freaking leaving for good, okay? Which has been fuckering with our lives for way too long. Which is why we couldn't manifest a lot of things, and a lot of things haven't worked out on here, all right? So know this, take pride of it, understand, okay, and know that now the new earth realities are online. We're in charge now. The new grid is online. The interference is totally being cleared out. This is our time now, but we need to claim our power as the conscious co-creators that we are. Every thought, every word, every belief, every feeling, every action, okay? We take. All of this is this. Become super conscious of it and use your words and spells wisely, all right? You can say, oh, this is what they're planning, but then you say, oh, no, but I see this is how this is going. The same with a reset. They have a negative version of the reset. We have a positive version of the reset. Imagine how it could be. But ultimately, don't try and work it out how, because it's literally a higher dimensional solution that you might not be able to kind of get to as such, of the how, but just what is the feeling? What is the feeling of feeling, no more worries about bills, where we need to live? What does it feel like living in your perfect house, home, you know, whatever it is, you know, automobile, going traveling where you always wanted to go, you know, as I said, maybe look up the travel place where you wanted to go. Go there, go into new earth creations, like go to your happy place as much as you can, whether that's dancing, whether that's singing, whether that's painting. Creation is huge right now, okay? Any ideas, start noting them down. More is going to come now. Like you can have a whole project downloaded within 5 to 10 minutes. This is not linear as such. So don't stress it, don't push it, don't try and control it, just flow. If you're in flow and alignment with your true self, it will just come to you. It unlocks from within you. Okay, so there's nothing to push. There's just to know when the perfect time has come to make your move. And make the right move and not a desperate move. We don't do this anymore, because this means then that we are not worth of better things. All right? These are tests. So dream really big, dream limitless. This is the time. This is a huge quantum window right now with infinite possibilities. All right? And if you rest, you need to rest. There's a lot happening through us now, through our own transformation, through our own body. It's huge. It's massive. We're turning crystalline. Like, I really feel like we're done, but I feel I'm going to be on holidays by the end of the month. That's what I'm feeling. I'm not just talking about it anymore. And somewhere warm, please. So that's what we're going for. Just going to have a look for the comments here. Okay, just with cell phones away. Also, if anyone has any questions they want to ask, let me know. Yeah, exactly. Cassandra was saying about every time we stand up, that's a very important point. Every time we stand up for ourselves, we take a piece of ourselves back, because we are standing up for the little us when they couldn't do it for themselves. Soul retrieval. That's exactly it. It's the same what I felt when I was attacked by kind of a distorted masculine energy. I had my divine masculine, my inner divine masculine, step up for me to draw the line. And that was me saying no to my distorted masculine, because that masculine was showing my distorted masculine. That kind of anything is really a reflection of your own inner, still unresolved issues, okay? So if you say no to them and let your divine version step forth, that's how you shift it all. Because it's all literally, you know, resolving in your field, but you're also helping the other person then with that same thing, just from the other side of things. And every time we do this, I could literally feel, when I blocked this to people, my field opened up, my heart opened up, a huge shift almost immediately on my whole energy field. Yeah, because then you know you are safe. Your soul pieces know they are safe to return, because you're not going to be attacked anymore, because now the divine masculine is stepping in anytime anybody tries this nonsense, and it's going to say, no, 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 not with me. And that's when all of ourselves can come back again, because we lose these soul pieces throughout the different lifetimes as we get tortured and attacked and heartbroken and betrayed and all of these things. So that's when all these pieces break off, and that's why we do all the healing work, and they can only come back again when it's safe. And when we stand up for ourselves, that's what allows that to be, because it's safe. It's safe to come home. It's literally about us coming home as our multidimensional self, anchoring in our, integrating fully in our physical vessel, and all of us integrating all of these different aspects of us. And there's a lot of soul retrieval happening right now, because again, it's all happening at the same time. You know, I mean, it's been going on for months, but very intense, a big theme right now again, letting go of all these, you know, as we remove or release through clearing the programs of these, you know, what attracts these entities and attachments and, you know, all of that stuff. You also then again make space for your soul pieces to come in. So it's both, you know, you clear, you do an entity attachment, like all of my activations basically is part of that as well. Always clearing out these levels to then bring more of the soul in, you know, but it happens layer by layer. It's never just one session, one thing. But that's kind of the work we're doing, as in clearing all those false, part distorted programs and entities and parasites from our field. And then we can retrieve all of ourselves. That's what's called soul retrieval, our multidimensional self, and integrate and merge with that, which is then also part of the walk-in process, which has happened a lot, which is also on our level more a soul braiding, where you just activate more of your DNA strands, and then more of your remembering, more of your gifts and abilities, more of your power, all of that. And that's really going to come online big now. If you can see all of the clearing we know we've been doing, we are due a lot of activation. And again, I feel it's happening now. And again, it's all of it happening. It's the clearing, it's the upgrading, and the balancing and integration. Also about that God has our back. Ultimately, when we know ourselves, which ultimately this is all about ourselves. If you want to be your true self, you need to know yourself. You can only know yourself when you know all of your good parts and shadow parts. So your strong points and your weaknesses. And actually both, like, I believe that your weaknesses are also potentially your strengths, and your strengths are also potentially your weaknesses. It works always both ways. And what was I saying? Yeah. So when we know our strengths and weaknesses, nobody that can try and trigger us anymore, because if they try and trigger us, you know, and try and get us where we're weak, it's like, oh, I already know I have, you know, kind of a weakness there. I'm aware of that. And whatever you say doesn't really affect me, you know? I mean, that's the becoming unfuckable with. Nothing anyone does or says or not do or says will affect you anymore or rock you. You know, it would still, not that you don't have any emotions, but it will not, you know, kind of, you won't take it personally, because, you know, when somebody else kind of hurts you, it's not about you ultimately, okay? If it triggers you, then it's about you, all right? So knowing thyself, knowing all your strengths and weaknesses, is you getting to know your true self, okay? And then sorting out all those parts and those programs that you don't no longer need, all those masks and, you know, behaviors we've taken on from our environment. That all goes along the journey, as we know. And right now, super accelerated. And when we really know ourselves, really know ourselves, okay, all of our shadow and our light, you know yourself as God, because you really know you are all things. You are the devil, you are God, you are all of these things. You are Bill Gates, you are, I don't know, the Pope, you are, I am you, you are me, ultimately, in a different time-space continuum, in another incarnation. Yeah, but it's not like they are not you, but they also are you. So that's the difficulty here to integrate, all right? But ultimately, once you merge with your true self, you are merging with God. It's the same process. That's divine union within. And when you know yourself as God. So believing in yourself is believing in God. That's why we all have a big problem here. It's both the same thing, okay, on this planet Earth. None of this is being promoted, really being your true self or a really natural connection with God. Because religion has, messed that one up and distorting all these religious, spiritual beliefs. So we don't have an inherent connection knowing ourselves as God when we come here onto the earth. So totally disconnected really from our souls. And also, we're being programmed to fit into boxes. We're not really being, most of the time, most of us has not been raised in order to just bloom and be our true self and, explore our gifts and abilities and just live our bliss. No, we were told you need to be like this and this in order to make it in the world. So that all has to go, and it has to be integrated, as in, so once we really truly know ourselves, we know we're not that false version of ourselves. We are also God. We are all things. We have merged with all of us, and as I call it, it's the integrated multidimensional personality in order, okay, where you are all of these things, but you purify those aspects that are no longer needed, okay? We will not have mass murderers anymore. We will not have mental disorders anymore, because again, they are a reflection of the collective unconscious and mass psychosis in a way that we are clearing now through us, through our own transformation. And once we go through this whole transformation, and often in the darkest moments we find God, when we're there like, oh, please, then you find God. Often through the ego death, because God will visit you when you're not there. So when you emptied yourself of your negative, distorted ego that feels itself separate from others, from God, and it's all about unifying with God, but also not losing yourself in the oneness, because you want to be an integrated personality, integrated ego, a healthy sense of self, where you can put down those boundaries when they're necessary, all right, because you can't live for the other person either. And that's the difficulty we're having here to integrate. It's the interdependency of knowing we are all interconnected, we're all, in this together, really, ultimately. But we also can't do it for other people. We need to know when to put down a boundary, when we shouldn't overextend ourselves, to not get lost in the oneness, but also to know yourself as the oneness, the both end. And it's very hard to unify both, because our right-left brain wants to, it's either one or the other. It's the same as if we think about justice on one level, what the negative aliens have been doing. Of course it's not okay. On another level, we have created this all as one. It's both ends. So, as a one consciousness, in order to learn lessons, in order to grow all races, and in order to heal the templates and expand consciousness. But we also can't let it continue. It's also not okay. But it has been perfect at the same time. So that's hard. These paradoxes are sometimes hard to integrate, but that's multidimensional living, and we are all of these things. And that's the right and the left brain becoming a whole brain state. And that's unity consciousness. But that's what we're trying to get right now. Because I know it can be confusing when it's like, you have these people trying to overstep their mark. And it's like, when do I put down the boundaries? When do I say no? And why is this happening? Like, it can get very confusing with all these also inverted programs within the spiritual teachings that have been around. And what should I feel, not feel? I hope I helped clear that up a little bit earlier with what I said. Like, everything you're feeling is showing you something. You should never tell yourself you shouldn't feel anything. You should just go deeper into the feeling of what's beyond it. And we can all do this by just having mindful conversations with ourselves. Or a friend, obviously, or someone else as well. But, we can ultimately do this all ourselves. We do not need other people. It's all being resolved within the one consciousness that we are all part of, so we all have access to. But other people are like accelerators, and we're all helping each other to see things we couldn't see before. And yes, it's much easier to see things that are wrong with other people than with ourselves. But I tell you, if something triggers you about another person, it's something you still need to make peace with within yourself and accept. It really is. Okay, every time. Doesn't matter how much you try to disagree at times. Even I like to disagree with that. And it's like, I know I'm angry, and it's like, and I know I shouldn't be judging. It's like, oh, okay, don't judge. Otherwise, you're going to end up like that, or you just find out, okay, this is where I'm doing this. Yeah, okay, move on. Because you will always, when you judge another person, you will find yourself, if you really go deep enough, that you either used to do this or you're still doing it just in a different way or form, maybe just in a very slight way, but it's something you haven't accepted about yourselves, because otherwise you could just see it in another person and you would say, oh, okay, not for me, but you wouldn't judge it, you wouldn't be triggered by it. That's the difference we're going here for, okay? And it is very challenging to know sometimes these days as well, with all the gaslighting and the triggering and inversions and the consciousness going on, where you sometimes don't know anymore what's yours and what's another's. Because this is like the victim-victimizer games going really crazy, okay, where it's like, argh. Ultimately, when it's in your field, it's ours, okay? It's ours to clear. Now, you need to just make a line where it's like, if somebody, let's say, for example, attacks you and says, oh, you can't do this and you don't have enough confidence, let's say, for example, that, all right? And you know it's like actually one of your insecurities, okay, that you have, that you know, security is kind of your insecurity, and that it's something like, you know, you wouldn't really need to be made aware of, you're already aware of it, okay, but the other person is kind of just like putting salt into the wound, okay. Just know that it's like, and especially when the other person is doing it in an abusive way, you know, they're just attack you because they have a bad day or whatever they're, you know, driving on, whatever it is. Just know that it's like this. It's like, okay, if I'm being triggered here and I feel, you know, like, you know, something is being triggered within me, I need to go deeper, and obviously then, this here is my insecurity, and I just need to understand that, you know, these are limiting thought forms that are holding me back. I might have, you know, insecurities there, but I'm choosing to rise beyond it. So I'm basically choosing that these are not my beliefs anymore. So you're basically saying to that consciousness, I do not believe you anymore. So it is yours, okay, in a sense, but it's also something that's being kind of, you know, it's literally an attack from the consciousness. It's like all these iconic thought forms are coming up, and we are needing to say no to them, okay? And if they come from another person, especially when they're abusive, we need to tell the person, no, you can't speak to me like this. You know, think about it, maybe come back to me then, if you have. But then we also need to say, okay, what's been triggered here within me, you know, sit with that, and then say, okay, here, it's actually an insecurity of mine, but this has given me the opportunity to be shown to me, and I now need to say no to this anymore, because these limiting thought forms, even if I have them running, they are not the truth. I need to now choose which ones I believe in. We have the choice. This is the reprogramming, okay? So if something tells me, oh, I'm, you know, I might not be good at whatever, doing videos because I don't have enough confidence. It's like, okay, I might have some confidence issues here, but I know I can do it. And the more often I do it, the more confident I will become, if you get me, okay? So you'd say, no, it doesn't mean that I can't do it. I'm saying no to these thought forms, no more. And if somebody comes into my life and is not supportive, okay, then they need to just stay away, because I need a support team around me. I don't need any more critics, okay? And that's also you telling your own critic to shut up. Does that make sense? Because it's yours, it's also theirs, but they're not okay with doing what they're doing by being abusive and attacking you, even if it's striking a core. Yeah, that's for you to sort out, but you also need to sort them out to teach them that I can't treat you like this. And it's also you claiming your worth by saying, I do not want people in my life that treat me like this. Okay? So these are big themes. And this is also, these are feeding frenzies. If people trigger you and you get triggered, you know, you feed them your energy. Same with gaslighting. Just don't fall for the gaslighting anymore. Just cut it off. As soon as you know the signs, just, I know you, not playing those games anymore. Okay? That's the only way it stops. Because if it keeps triggering you, it will keep coming around. It will keep feeding off you. Alright. So, as I said, since the 7th New Earth realities have been born, we can already see, I think, this. I'm looking forward to some big, like, celebrations exploding in Canada any moment now. I saw somebody drawing a reference between the Berlin Wall coming down. And it's funny because I grew up in Germany, as you might notice from my accent, and I was about 9 or 10 when the wall came down, so it's quite interesting because I remember the energy of that, and it definitely feels like this, just on a really big galactic level, because that's another thing. This is all of the consciousness being reset, okay? This is cosmic consciousness reset. This is not just us here on the planet, this is also all of the other star races, because we are them, they are us. They have seeded us. We are connected in consciousness. We are also helping their consciousness to clear and upgrade. We're all getting upgraded, okay? Because the distortions are on all levels. Don't think because some beings in the 5th or 7th dimensional level that have got it all sorted out. It really is not like that, all right? Because it's like as above, so below. It really is like there's always a reflection. So this is being cleared on all levels, and yeah, it's really from up down and bottom up. It's both, as I see it, yeah, happening simultaneously, where we here at the lowest density do our work, and it's also obviously happening at highest level, that these adjustments within the consciousness and reorganization also is happening as I'm seeing it, because we are rebirthing as a consciousness. And you know, obviously also, if we hear from some of the, what are they called? You know, from the secret space programs, there's obviously a lot of stuff going on beyond this planet, all right, that we're also needing to fix as such. And it's all quantum entangled. So don't think linear, don't think even the how. Just focus on the end result, focus on the feeling. What would you feel like to be happy? Ultimately, we just want to feel happy and feel free. So whatever can get you there, go there as much as possible. Go to frequency. It's not about, you know, ignoring anything. Whatever comes up, comes up. But, you know, when you have time to dream or to be creative, really use that very consciously. And again, it's everything we think. You know, like I can go for deep clearings, like it's been rough, you know, as well, but I can be perfectly fine at the same time. I'm not having a great time, but I still hold the timeline, I still hold the realities in place. Doesn't mean I give up or anything, you know, and especially now we've really cleared out the last remaining doubts, and that's the key. Our confidence is absolute key, because once there's no more doubt, that's the purity of frequency. That's how we hold the frequency. And when there's no more doubt, that's when it manifests. In divine timing, everything needs to be in line, but ultimately that's what we're doing right now. It's total stabilization of that frequency of the new earth realities, because they're literally birthing from inside of us as we are rebirthing ourselves. It's all interconnected, all the same. It's in our DNA. Our DNA is the film strip, and we are the projectors, and we hold the keys and codes for this ascension. So don't worry about what the others are doing. The more you focus on you, the quicker this goes, because your outside is just showing you what you still need to work on. So what we also had since the weekend, strong DMT releases, and DMT, the spirit molecule, is also there to help us manifest literally the higher dimensional realities into reality. Okay, so it's literally helping us to manifest this into form. So it's good news. Just as I'm saying this, it's like, ooh, I can feel another little release there. And as I said, we had constant C-class solar flaring, geomagnetic storms, and also solar storms. Schumann resonance has been relatively, you know, not massive, just some timeline edits. I mean, obviously there's a lot of timeline adjustments constantly going on. I don't even need to mention that anymore, I think, okay? Because as I said, all of the timelines are all merging into one. So it's all about merging and converging and blending timelines. And that's why we need to root out all the timeline stuff we don't want anymore, okay, from the 0 point field, from neutrality, not getting triggered anymore, and say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And we do this at collective and at personal level. Yeah? And we can work with that. So a big thing of what's happening also over the last few days is a big mask removal. So it's literally the veils, it's the final purification and veil removal. Alright? So all the masks are coming off. People are seen for who they are. They can't hold it together anymore, the charade, okay? And it's basically part of the clearing of the old self, because all these templates are literally energetically removed, all right, from everyone. It's like not that you really have a choice. And again, this is all, you do have a choice and you don't, as in we have chosen as a one consciousness, okay, and every soul themselves again chooses as well within that greater decision which way they want to go. Okay, so you do have a choice, but ultimately the general direction is not up for personal choice, if that makes sense, I hope. So with that, obviously, our old self, false self leaving, it's all the false programming leaving. So any behaviors and belief systems and thought forms that don't serve us anymore should become very clear now. Automatically, again, it says is connected to the crystal network activation, which is basically the planetary brain. And as the magnetosphere shifts, our consciousness shifts. So it's literally the whole consciousness is shifting, coordinate within a time-space continuum from, let's say, this is polarity consciousness to unity consciousness, okay? Vertical up to source, eternal, perpetual energy flow, okay? Eternal life. We're all reconnecting to that. We're all reconnecting to source, all right? And it's all happening as the consciousness shifts. We're shifting realities, because a new consciousness means new realities, because obviously distorted polarity gives you these kind of realities. If we would all think in a unity consciousness way, this would reflect different hologram, wouldn't it? That would make sense if we believe, which I believe, that thoughts create beliefs, repetitive thought forms are belief systems, and belief systems are the programs, basically, that realities are built upon, such as, to give you just an example, you have to work hard in order to survive. It's a belief system. It keeps a certain reality in place. We need to literally override it with, I can provide for myself and my family, or I can live in abundance by following my bliss. And yes, this needs repetition. This is all about repetition. It's taken us a while to get here. So in order to create new neural pathways in your brain, new ways of thinking, you have to do it again and again. That's why I do repeat certain things again and again, because they need to be repeated. It's like me programming, okay, the consciousness. Because everything we write and say, we say to the field, even if it's just one person or 50 are watching, however, it's still having an effect. It's all programming the consciousness. What are you feeding the consciousness? What are you feeding the matrix? What are you feeding into it? And it's not about looking away. You can say, they're planning this, but I believe it's going this way, or I'm choosing this reality. At least you are giving your energy to what you want to see and not what you don't want to see. Because that's a big point right here. You can still call a spade the way things are, and override it at the same time. You see something you don't like, and then you say, but I would like to manifest this instead. And then obviously the more you know your power, and the more you believe in what you're saying, the more chances it has to manifest. It's literally a frequency, all right, of no doubt. Again, the no doubt, the confidence is the key here to that manifesting now. It's a frequency enough of us reach that brings everything online. And again, energetically, the stage has been set. It's going to pop, 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 quicker and quicker and quicker until the final moment, any moment now. And again, it's no time. Okay, this is frequency. All right, and we keep co-creating it in every one now moment. And it's not about euphoria or being like, in a heightened state and excited and an event. No, that's not what it is about. It's just about knowing this is it. Okay, you still keep busy. You keep getting on with things. Be as happy and joyful as you can. Keep co-creating new earth. All right, because instead of asking what's going to happen and when, I'm asking you, what are you making happen? What are you co-creating? That's what's really important, because that's what's creating the future right now, right? And it's constantly in flux to certain extents. And we can, the quicker we really get hold of being the conscious co-creators that we came here to be, the quicker this goes. And it's not about manipulation or control. Again, this is about being in divine alignment and listen to your intuition and inspiration, not from trying to control or force anything. That's the old way of doing things, okay? But it doesn't mean that sometimes you don't need to control. That's another thing, okay? Again, we're merging all of this together. Sometimes you might have a moment where you do need to, control your kids to get them, into school in the morning on time, sort of thing. You get me? So it's not that there's not one right answer, one truth, okay, a single answer to anything. It's always depends on the moment, the situation, the people. Sometimes we can help, sometimes we can't help. You know, sometimes we put someone else first, sometimes we put ourselves first. You know what I mean? So that's the multidimensionality that there's no rule book as such. That's the whole thing. You are your own inner navigation system. That's the key. No one can tell you. You know, the same as me if somebody asks me what should I do, I don't usually give an answer to that. I would, you know, kind of try to guide them to the right answer, because ultimately it's very much dependent on that situation. You know, in the last moment. So basically, so be prepared to know the truth as this whole veil removal is happening, the mask being revealed. You know, we always see like other people getting the truth. Just also be prepared that you see more truth about yourself, how you have created and co-created your realities, and, you know, where you still have stuff to work on. We're all going to see more truth. Things also betrayal. Maybe people, especially in the spiritual community, what I see happening is we will see, what I've been shown, you know, about 90-95% of people have been compromised from the spiritual leadership. So there will still be a lot of unveiling happening. So just be prepared, okay, that maybe people you thought were one thing are another. So again, masks are coming off. People are going to be seen for who they really are. Just be open to surprises, okay? And ultimately, betrayal is teaching us to know who to trust. That's how we learn discernment. If nobody's ever betrayed us, would we know what it feels like? No. So we had to learn all these things in order to then learn the discernment, okay? And who we can trust and who we don't trust. And that's such a key lesson that's coming up again right now and will always be. Because if we're connected to the wrong people, such as all these karmic contracts we had, I don't have space for real soul family to come online. You know, if you're in a wrong relationship, we don't have space for the good relationship. Yeah? So that's why it's so important to know who to connect with, who to trust, who is on our frequency, and who we can, you know, build new earth with. So we need to kind of cut the people out that, or distance us from them, whichever way we are being guided to, in order to make space for the right support to come online now, and instead of being hindered, which has really been happening so far. So know your boundaries, know your discernment. This is a massive final collapse of all the remaining artificial timelines. It's rapidly unfolding right now. Anything you see is literally just a clearing. Try and collapse it through the neutrality, knowing that everything is going to be good. Know that whatever needs to play out will play out. The more we can see that, the quicker it plays out and resolves itself. Because everything is also an energetic dance. Okay? So for example, when we try to convince someone, or if you try something too hard, you're literally repelling it. You're pushing it the other way, energetically. Okay? So if you just let go, it can resolve itself. Like I had this yesterday come up as in being frustrated with people that don't do the work. Okay, so people like me can do a whole lot more. And cognitive dissonance, people still clinging on to their cognitive dissonance. And I was just going like, and I knew, okay, literally my frustration is keeping that still in the field. I could feel it. So just had to go deeper into it. I had to understand that's still me doing it. I could see an old me doing it. You know, we all still have cognitive dissonance, things we can't see. Okay, we still all have stuff maybe we don't really want to look at, or, you know, do, or used to not do shadow work or whatever. You know what I mean? So I knew it was still a part of me that just makes me it's also okay to be frustrated, because where we're at right now, it's like, come on people, you know. But I get it that I think a lot of people don't want to face their cognitive dissonance, although they see it coming. Okay, that like they can see the truth, they still don't want to really know, because there's just a lot of shame and guilt that is preventing them from that. And I think we need to hold the space to understand, to say, you can't see what you cannot see, but you also need to understand that when you project constantly stuff onto other people, you're not looking inside. So this is all about self-reflective work, really. That's how we stop all of this ultimately, okay? It's when we stop projecting and flinging our shit onto the walls and putting everything back within for resolution, also making other people responsible, okay? But it's all of these things, and we need to really now be really grown up and face anything left, okay, and transcend guilt and shame, all right, we didn't know better, now we know better. Okay, if you know better, we need to then do better. That's all that really counts now. Any now moment, you have a new chance to do everything all over again, all new. You have a choice to do things differently. Now is the only moment that counts, truly. Okay? If you choose redemption now, that's all that matters. Okay, and it's not from like, oh, I'm being such a terrible person. No, we all had crap, and it's not a competition. But it's no more time for cognitive dissonance. It costs lives. Literally. And I'm not here for it. Really not. So my frustration is also very on point. Because it's in the field, and no nonsense, and no more bullshit. Because we've also allowed it. Okay? To certain degrees. Energetically. Because we understand why and all of that. And because this whole no bullshit frequency is coming up, this also resolves in the field. Because I can literally feel it. The confusion in the field of people like clinging on to, you know, their lies and their perceived sense of reality, which is literally dissolving and exploding now. And of course I understand it's the whole sense of self going down with it. So I have compassion for it, but it's like we cannot do it any longer. It costs lives. Stop projecting onto other people. Pull it back within, all right? But also tell obviously people when they're projecting onto you, like, no, not with me anymore, okay? Know when to do what is whose. If you're confused, go within, take a break, okay? Go silent, try and sort it out, and then come back. Ah, okay, yeah, I get what that was about, okay? This is becoming more and more clear now. What is what and where we need to draw a line and so forth, all right? This is rolling out. So expect people to change, but you also need to be the change agent and putting people kind of in their place and yourself as well of like what's allowed and what's not allowed in your reality anymore. Yeah, very clear, very big theme right now. And focus on what you want more so than what you don't want, because whatever we focus on, we will see more of. So if you go out and try to look for bad stories online, you will find them. You know, we all have very different experiences, especially over the last 2 years, of our realities. We all live in different dimensions and realities, depending on where our consciousness is focused upon. We all create our own realities. Quantum physics proves there is no objective reality. It's all subjective, all for our own perception. Okay? But we have to come to an agreement of a reality as well that works for everyone. All right? And we can't do this through inversions in the consciousness and constant projections and not owning our shit. That's what creates entities. All right? So, and this is not about us thinking, it's, you know, if we're on the other end of the spectrum and have been the ones on the receiving end of projections, you need to be very aware of not, you know, going crazy and thinking everything is yours. You need to be making the other move of saying, no, listen, this is your projection. If it triggered me, I sort this out, but this is not okay with me. Take this somewhere else. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I know this both ends. It's sometimes a little bit hard to explain or to integrate, but I hope it is coming across of what I'm trying to say, because that's literally us embodying the Triwave. It's understanding, having no conflict between different viewpoints. You still hold yours, but there's no conflict, there's no convincing, there's no control or pushing anything on anyone. All right, you just stand in your truth, you stand in your authenticity, in your true self, and that shifts everything, really. Okay. So the truth is coming out from within and without, and that's the truth as I'm seeing it, that cannot be questioned. It's not about comparing books. It's literally unlocking from within our DNA, our crystals within our DNA, which is carrying the data, which is carrying the true history. And we're clearing out the bad data right now for the true data, true history to come online, or true memory. So this will come in very big now, I believe. Gifts, abilities, and true memories. And we will just know who is who and what has happened. No more the forgetting of what has been done to us. So some of those people who you might consider friends right now, you will find out have been betraying you for many lifetimes. I'm just telling you now. So be aware. And again, it's not personal, all right? So take it easy. Yeah, so for the last 2 weeks, constant C-class flares and the total purification, breakthrough, all in progress. And I still feel, as I said, there's still an imminent, big, very big, energetic expansion, compression breakthrough, if you like, however you want to call it, is still coming online. And what I see as an awakening, okay, as with the pole shift, all connecting. I don't see it so much as us just looking at all the conspiracy theories or I'm not using the word in that sense, but you know what I mean. All of the narratives and negative agendas coming to light. That's not really what I mean with awakening. I really believe it's about us remembering ourselves as one with Source again, as one with each other, and this shifts our realities. It's like a shortcut through, but we will also remember what has happened. Okay, so it's both ends. So it's like disclosure on the sense of we will know, as I said, who did what, okay? Not what they're pretending to say or do, but what really happened. But it will also be like as if waking up from a dream, because it was an old reality, a false reality, false information, false history in a sense, okay, inserted. And it will be us then remembering a totally kind of our true history, and the other stuff which we now feel so real will be more like a movie, okay? It will feel less real because the memories is what keeps co-creating the realities. That is why they keep showing us also war and, murder and all of that stuff on television, all right? Because it helps us recreate all of these realities on a very subconscious level, because most of humans so far have been co-creating unconsciously. And our conscious is like 80% of our consciousness. So, they've had a field day so far with the programming, obviously, as we know. So just be very aware of that right now and transcend through it. And I think we're also reaching the end. Just know, again, as when you see anything, decode, recode, override, okay? Nothing to avoid. Just know that you are now writing the script and you are programming the realities. And know when they are trying to project something at you, like a war timeline or whatever, just know it for what it is. They can't manifest this stuff without you, quite literally. It's once you know, it's like you're in a video game, but you just need to remember that you're the avatar as well. You're like kind of the creator of the game, the player of the game, you're the avatar in the game, okay, but you remember that you're the avatar in the game. You know that basically the game is over, because this is the ending of the experiment and it's all resolving itself, yeah? And that's ultimately the awakening, and that's also the event, which I'm already seeing in progress, but I do believe it will come to that one moment where it's just like, and we just remember again and everything comes online. And I feel it's pretty imminent. And again, this is outside of time. This is non-linear. This is a frequency, all right? But the more we understand, linear time is not, the way it is. Like next week could as well be 300 years. How do you not know that tonight you're not sleeping 100 years? Just to say, as in, from, even a time traveling perspective, okay? Just like people have been sent off-world for 20 years. The program's 20 years back, or 20 years forth and 20 years back, but they come back and they haven't aged and so forth. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is the way we perceive time is not how it really is, especially now. And we get into a point where it's literally just no time, or a different way of us perceiving time, because literally it's just a coordinate for me. And ultimately everything right now and always potentially is available within the quantum space. Okay, everything is always happening now. So the event has already happened, and it's a total non-happening. All right? It might be a solar flash, it might be not. Because ultimately we're constantly co-creating this as a one consciousness. That's what I'm being shown. This is why everything is so, the kind of in-between is so unseeable. All right? You kind of know where you're going, but you don't know how you get there and when you're going to get there exactly. And that's exactly where we are. And that's the frequency we need to hold. It's like kind of embracing the uncertainty. Know it's Christmas. Know good things are coming. Of course, deal with your fears. Transcend them. Every time you do, you make a huge quantum jump. Okay? And this is the time. This is not happening for nothing, that 3 people I know are right now faced with, needing to have a new place. There's big changes coming online, and I know for other people as well. But I believe they're really good. Even if it scares you right now, just dream really, really, really big. I really feel the abundance is coming in right now. It's everything together. It's all interconnected. Okay, the awakening, the abundance, the new earth realities, our new self. It's here. It's imminent. It's all interconnected. It can all and will all eventually activate in one moment in time. And it's also, we have moments when we have 7, 8, whatever strands of DNA activated. You might just not be aware of it, and it's not constantly online. But when you have these expanded moments and gifts and whatever comes on, that's what's happening. It's just that we are accreting this constantly, but I believe, again, in one moment it comes all online, and it is connected with the crystalline core. But I don't know if it's so much of a physical flesh, maybe more spiritual. Maybe it's more, a consciousness event. Who knows? What I'm really interested in is the end result, and that's what I'm focusing on. So that's like holiday, relaxation, co-creating with beautiful people, painting, really enjoying life again. Because I've been working really, really, really hard, and I have not had much of enjoyment, quite frankly. Just to get it done, and because also these realities are not, that exciting. But really, it was, shown to me also what we're here to do, okay? And this was the quick way through, really doing a lot of the work, staying with it, and it's kind of, the express way. And a lot of, it's the same for example, sleeping and resting. The program itself sometimes sees it as something, you're lazy or whatever. Actually, it's the quick way through, because you resolve a lot in your sleep and your downtime that you would otherwise have to deal with whilst you're awake. So actually, to awake, you have to do a lot of sleeping. You see, so a lot of it is reversed here, all right? And a lot of it, it's just ultimately you listening to your own inner guidance. My path is not your path. We all have different themes, okay? All have different challenges. But I really feel the fruits of our labors are here now, are coming in now. And everybody's obviously slightly in a different place, has still different levels of work to do. But don't believe, even if it feels like it's so much, it isn't necessarily so, okay? Because again, time isn't what we think it is. What has before taken maybe years to clear, right now, miracle healings, okay? And this is what the ultimate event or the final breakthrough is for me. It's the full healing of all the trauma and the past memories from the cellular memory records, okay? From this matrix, from this holographic, from this inserted matrix. And literally then our true memories coming online, okay? Where we still remember what has happened, but it's not constantly running in the background in our subconscious, recreating the same distorted realities. If that makes sense. But I also wanted to, if you're still with me, oh my God, 1.5 hours. I'm doing an activation on Sunday, and it's very much connected to rebirthing our true self and organic ascension timelines. So check that out. It really helps with clearing the last layers of the template. And one thing I need to say to this, because I had someone asking, they are based on donation, okay? So I do expect people, if they want to take part, to please make a donation. If you really can't make a donation, that is fine. You are welcome. People who've done them before know this. But ultimately, I do depend on donations. This is my only income. I do everything here for everyone, literally for free, based on donations. So this only works if people can also support me back, okay? And I really do a lot. So if people then complain about that, that really does rub me the wrong way. And I can't read the description. Anyway, so please make a donation if you can. And I will also in future not make them like this anymore. You will need to contribute in order to take part in them. So far, I have been guided to offer them like this because we're all in luck here. But I have to say, it's only 20% of people who make a donation. And quite frankly, I know that that can't be a true representation of 80% who can't make an energetic exchange towards what I'm offering. Because these activations are very powerful at a personal and collective level. And again, this is, I'm offering something, so getting something in return as a support back is kind of, the way we're also going forward. Even if we don't have money in the future, there should be a give and take on some energetic level, okay? I hope you get this all. So that's another part of also claiming our worth in future. Again, as I said it so far, it was shown to me in order to bring all the codes in and to make the activations happen, even the people who don't want to give a donation, they need it kind of even more, all right? But we are now done with all of this, okay? Abundance is the new normal, so we don't need to do this anymore, and it's going to be different from here on in, okay, as from March. So anyway, I thank you for those who do support me with donations, because you make what I do possible. And thank you for being here now. Thank you for breaking through all the old programs, because that's how you break out of the matrix, quite frankly. All right? And keep aligning with your true authentic self and your own inner wisdom, own inner knowing above what anyone else is saying, okay? And tune into what do you believe is going to happen, not what anyone else is saying. And as with any manifestation, you know, the last step is you let go and you trust that it's already done, and in the divine right timing and alignment, it's all coming online. Any moment now. Now is the only time where anything ever happens, all right? It's very important to keep saying these things. Being in no time, you know, transcending fear, all of these themes, all right? So just know it all for what it is, recode it, override it, know you are in charge now of your realities, know your power, okay? And transcend any remaining fear and doubt that tells you that that's not the case, all right? And cut all those parasites and vampires off, any energetic leaks, seal them, beat the 0 point field. That's where we collapse and co-create timelines for, not when we get triggered anymore, but when you can, like, you know, you can still get angry, but you're not going to lose it, you know what I mean? Because you get angry because someone is overstepping their mark. But then you're like, no, you know, it's like, we're not being, you know, abused in the name of spirituality here, okay? These times are over, all right? Just because you understand why somebody's doing it, we cannot allow them to do it anymore. Because if we don't allow this on a personal level, it can't happen collectively anymore. You see, everything we do in our life has a huge collective impact, because we are reprogramming the consciousness. See yourselves as the heart and the brain of the collective, okay? We're doing this very consciously. All right, it's a huge responsibility and accountability. Don't take this lightly. This is literally your mission, sorting out the programming. Take great pride in it, transcending your remaining fears, especially in regards to survival. All right, be the superhero, the crystal avatar that you are. Remember who you are, okay? And take a deep breath, and then you go and do it, and you know you can do it, and you will do it. And we're doing it now. Success is here, celebrations are here, it's done. And it's all coming online now. Do it and know it, all right, and let it come to you. We also do magnetic force, that don't chase now things or try to make them happen from that place, from pushing anything. You do it just from inspiration and flow, okay? And let it come to you now, because we have done enough. Okay, the last step, you let it go. Okay, I hope that helped. You beautiful people, I love you so much. Thank you for taking the time, for a few that hang around, and for the ones watching in the replay. The activation, if you want to take part on Sunday, it's on my Facebook page. I'll also post it now here later. And join us if you like to. Read the description, thoroughly please, first. And otherwise, I'll see you around. Happy manifesting. Let's make it grand, okay? Magic is happening now. We are here to make the magic happen, okay? Think miracles. You are the miracle, all right? Believe in your power, no more doubt, full confidence, and have fun with it, okay? That's the final ingredient. Joy is love expressed. And that's the divine child now, birthing forth, the Holy Trinity, the creative force. But it creates for the joy of creation, not in order to make money, all right? Of course, this is part of it, but that's not the driving force. All right, because all that money stuff has been transcended. I know it from what I feel in my field, and that's why I know big abundance is coming. And I don't need to try and figure out how and when. I just need to relax, and everything will flow and align, divinely so. All right. Love you guys. Good night, good day, wherever you are. It's free here, 3 a.m. 33, and it's, oh, and another day, we have a lot of 2s, obviously today and yesterday, depending where you are. Today is the 12th, so we have another 2 day. So yeah, you know, powerful weekend, more solar activity probably ahead. Just be prepared for anything, but expect the best, all right? And keep transcending the fear, and be brave, be a brave heart, be the love that heals and changes all, but that love has limits, discernment, and boundaries, all right? Love you guys. Bye.